Percival. Dear student friend follower, today we'll discuss about Toni Morrison. We'll discuss summary of her novel. Her novel Jazz. Jazz is a kind of music. You know, especially in America, African American, when they settle over there, especially in America, they want to create their distinctive culture. So jazz represents their distinctive culture. It's a kind of music, but this was created by the black people. Therefore, whenever there is a jazz, they see that the jazz is actually symbol of or representation of their own culture. So jazz were brought by the African Americans. They are black, and they are in fact showing their culture through through this jazz. Especially in America, lot of musicians, lot of producer, musicians, poet, painters, they were black. They started creating their distinctive, kind of culture. So how they are going to create? They even started writing different kind of painting, different kind of music, different kind of poetry. So this was basically represent their distinctive culture, their perspective, their point of view, so their separate identity. So there was an identity issue, the white and black American. So there is a lot of tussle, and recently you have seen that they both fought with each other. So let's discuss. Born 1931, and Coy Ardelia Wofford in Ohio, received BA from the Howard University in 1953, MA Cornell University in 1955. Has taught at many different institutions including Harvard, Yale, and Bernard Barts and the SUNY and Princeton. So these universities he taught over there, he learned and he taught in these university. Winner of a Pulitzer Prize for Fiction's American Book Award, Nobel Prize, and many other award honors. So let's look over here. Blue Eyes. The story is selected selections of the novel The Bluest Eyes, Morrison first published in 1970. So if we discuss about the Morrison novel Blue Eye, The Bluest Eyes, we have seen there are two kind of people. There are especially two kind of people. One, they are totally thinking that they are not good enough. They are influenced from the white people. They think that white are superior. But the second class of the black people, they do not consider that white are superior like that. So there are two kind. One is in the superiority complex, and one is that in an inferiority complex. They say that they are inferior to the white people. So there are two kind of group. One live in a normal life, and the second group, they do not live in a normal life. She has shown the psyche of the two people. So major themes: image of the beauty, self-perceptions, self-hate, projection. Self-hate means that the people, white people, they see that they are not up to the level of the white people. So they consider themselves inferior enough, and they are comparing and contrasting their way of living with the white people. So there are two kind of people. One totally influenced from the white people, but the second strata or the group of black people, they do not consider white or superior. They are just living normal life. Search for understanding of the hegemonic imagery of the beauty, education, learning. So these are the themes, especially in the Bluest Eyes. When you see all novel, you will see the concept of the racial concept, especially in Toni Morrison novels. The black people, what they were suffering, she tried to inculcate their problem. She tried to display their problem, how they feel, how they reflect, how they think. So all she has reflected through her novels. Education, learning, change, minority status and society, and how this affect how this affects goals and desires. So questions and discussions. So there are some questions. So let's see the novels. The Bluest Eyes, so that was written 90, that was published 1970, and God Helps the Child in 2015. So like identity, African American identity, double consciousness, illusions of the two identities. Toni Morrison Pulitzer Prize for the Beloved in 1988. Nobel Prize for Literature in 1993, Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012 by Barack Obama. In 2012, she received Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012. So Toni Morrison, so how does Toni Morrison make her novels? How does Toni Morrison make her novels work for the black peoples and portray them in the past? Their presence and the new lights in the front of the entire world. The Bluest Eyes in 1970, God Helps the 2012. So the Bluest Eyes will discuss, first of all we'll discuss about the Bluest Eyes, and after that we'll discuss another novel, Jazz by Toni Morrison. We'll discuss summary characterization in the Jazz, but now we are going to discuss about the Bluest Eyes. If we talk about the Bluest Eyes, what we see, so if we talk about the Bluest Eyes, characters and themes, motifs and symbols, so we'll discuss all one by one. Characterizations. So there are two girls, Piccola Breedlove, and the second is Claudia McTeers. So Claudia McTeers and the Piccola Breedlove. Piccola and the Claudia, they are both different. They belong to different psychology. Let's say Piccola thinks that whatever whites are, they are very superior enough. We just can watch them. We can't live like them. And she used to compare and contrast with the white people. So she is in psychological problem all the time. On the other hand, we've got another character, Claudia McTeers. Claudia McTeers is another family. There are two black family. One is Breedlove and second is McTeers. So McTeers, they are normal enough. They are living their good life, and she is also narrator of this story. Claudia McTeers is it's a kind of narrator. She narrates the story, what happens to the Piccola, how she was pregnant by fathers, how she was seduced, and how she spent her tormented life, especially in black people. So characters are over here. Piccola Breedloves are black girls who believes she's ugly and wishes to blue eyes. So Piccola Breedlove, she wants that if her eyes will be blue, she will be respected and honored in a society, because she living in a society where white people used to hate them. They do not try to mix with them, even they are not allowed to mix with them, and they are always considered inferior by the white people. And then is Shirley Breedlove, father of the Piccola Breedlove, and then Pauline Breedlove, mother of the Piccola Breedlove. Sam Breedlove's Piccola's elder brothers. Now I'd like to discuss about the Piccola's family. In Piccola's family, her father is abusive husband. In fact, he used to fight with her wife. She beats, and all the day she is in a drunkard positions. What happens before that, in his childhood, what happened, he had an affair when he was young enough. He had an affair one of the lady, black lady, and he was caught red-handed by the white people just held him. They caught him, and then they punished him. They say that you will do sexual bodily functions in front of us, and they just saw him whatever he did in front of her. That is why their parents, he was doing like drinking and wandering here and there, had affair with the ladies. So here his parents, so especially Shole's Breedlove, they just kicked him out of their homes, and now he went somewhere else, and he met with Pauline's Breedlove. He fell in love with Pauline Breedlove, but he used to do the same thing, drinking and moving here and there and beating his wife Pauline Breedlove. And from Pauline Breedlove he had two children. So one is the Sam Breedlove and second is Piccola Breedlove. He used to beat his wife. And what happened, once upon a time, he had drunk enough, and while in a drunkard position he came home, and his daughter, she was working in a kitchen, and she looked at her, and she looked like his wife. He raped his daughters, and she was just mourning and weeping with pains, and she even told her mother, but mother abused her daughter instead of saying to Shole's Breedlove. So this way, Pauline Breedlove, Shole Breedlove, they are living in 6 and 7 position. They're fighting with each other, they're thinking they are inferiors, and now she totally destroyed because she had been raped by her own fathers. So now talk about the Claudia McTeers. She is a friend of and Frida McTeers. Claudia McTeers and Frida McTeers. She is a friend of the Piccolas, Breedloves, and also primary narrators, daughter of the Mr. and Mrs. McTeers. Neighborhoods, black families of Breedlove family. Motifs: the Dick and the Jane narratives, seasons and natures, whiteness and colors, eyes and visions, dirtiness and cleanness. Over here, I would like to explain what is motif. Motif are the devices or the words, or you could say such lines, such stylistic, such devices which helps to help to create main themes. So these are the main, these are the main points. They help to create main themes, to develop main themes. So motifs are such devices which helps to create, to make main themes. So Dick and Jane narratives, they are the white peoples, and Piccola used to see them, and she says that I can't live like them. They are superior enough, they are white enough, and I can't live with like them. They had their good parents, they had their good house, their dogs, their everything, like they are enjoying a good life, but we are black, we can't enjoy like that. So the Dick and Jane narratives, it is showing the class consciousness, because the class of Dick and Jane's, they are superior enough as compared to the Piccola's way of living, Piccola's home. So Dick and the Jane narratives show in fact the superiority and inferiority. So it shows the two classes which is inferior and superior enough. So both classes are being contrasted and compared through James and Dick and James, and Piccola is just seeing them and just trying to live like them, but she can't live because they had a good parents, a good house, good mom, dad, and they are enjoying with the animals as well. Like they had in their whole house some birds and animals like cats and dogs and like that. seasons and the natures. So here season and nature is also discussed. So talk about the seasons. When there was a spring seasons, she raped. When there was the growing harvesting season, her child was died. So season and nature, it is also discussed in a motif of this novel. Whiteness and colors, we've got two colors. One is the picolas and McTeers and love breed, the both families, and we have breedlove family and McTeer family. So these two family are black, and on the other hand we have Dick and Jane, they are whites, and the two family, they are being compared. Eyes and visions, we have seen there is eyes and visions. So talk about the eyes. If we talk especially, if we talk about the family like so let's see. So here are some points I would like to discuss with you. We are going to discuss the Dick and Jane narratives. So Dick and Jane, they belong to white class. So they are superior enough. They belong to the white class. They belong to white class, and we have discussed about them in detail. So white and colors, whiteness and colors, breedlove, and the second is McTeer. Two family, they are the black and the other is white. So they being compare and contrast, and they think that we are inferior to them. So they take inferior to others. Eyes and visions, we see that the bluest mean, if we just use through the pun this word, the bluest mean dark. So eyes mean, I mean man. So if it mean that the bluest shows the dark, depressed, and the person eyes mean not eyes over here. If we just see through stylistic device, this word shows I am dark and depressed. Dirtiness and cleanliness, we see the compare and contrast to the white. White represent cleanliness and the black, they represent dirtiness. So both the concept we have found. The house, the bluest eyes, the marigolds. So here are symbol, the house especially represent the people, they are living with a good house, they are happy, they are not depressed. On the other hand, we see the house, this is the depressed one, where father is raping girl, where father is abusing, an abusive father, abusive her husband, abusive their neighbor, and he is fighting and not living with good. And the bluest eyes mean the dark eyes, the eyes mean the depressed. The female, she is demanding eyes. She wants that once she is having a good eyes, blue eyes will give her more beauty, so that The bluest eyes mean the lady, the girl, the girl, black girl, she wants that if she's having the bluest eyes, she'll be enjoying her life. The marigold is a symbol. Marigold is just like these are the the seed of the flowers, and if they grow, they will. Frida and her sisters, they believe that they will not sell this marigold, rather they will grow it. They will just sow it. Once they grow, it shows that Piccola, she'll be getting, she'll be her baby will alive, and she will spend good life. So once the marigolds, they do not grow, it shows that her baby will be died. So they check it. So it is also symbolic one. So we have discussed the characters, the themes, motive, and summary. Now let's discuss another novels. The second novel is this novel shows the difference between the class black and the white people. How black people, they are deprived enough. It also shows that the evilness, especially inside the black people. So while an evil nature of the black people, what kind of brutality white black people have. So it shows, it depicts the black people mentality. Here are some characters. Before discussing character, one that I should share with you, some characterization. Let's see characterization. So first of all, we discuss the character of the Violet. Violet is around about 56-year-old woman, and this woman is not having a good relation with her husband. So her husband is all the time doing work, and they both aged, and they are not having good relation. And she is not like a talkative. She does not talk to him, and he does not talk to him. They used to live in alienation, so they are spending separate life. So an orphan raised by her grandmother's rural Virginia, Violet herself has no children, and after several miscarriage, she longs for a child. So both, they don't have child, and they are, if you talk about their personality, they are dispersed and totally different from each other. They do not have good understanding with each other. On the other hand, we have the Joe Trace. Joe Trace is also brought up without parents. He is also orphan. Both were orphans. Violet's husband Joe Trace is a good-looking man, and his late 50, who, despite having lived in a city of the 20 years, retains a boyish innocence and dignified comportment and hard-working outdoorsman. Joe works hard, shuttling between jobs and waiters and cosmetic salesman. He is also cosmetic sellers, and he goes place to place. He has a relation with different females. Even he spent his day night outskirt area as well. He moves here and there in a way to sell his cosmetic thing. The women in the Harlem trust and respect Joe because he seems decent and honest. Joe loves his wife, but he is hurt when she closes herself off from him because of her depressions. As sympathetic characters, Joe is murderers and adulterers, cheaters on his wives, and then killing his lover. He in fact loves one of the girls. She is around about 17-year-old, and her name is Dorcas. She is also orphan girls. She living with her aunt. What happens? He used to sell cosmetic to her aunt, ultimately developed illegitimate relation with that girl. He hired a room from her neighbor's upstairs room that was vacant. He used to present a lot of cosmetic to that girls, and she impressed, and they started making love affair with each other. So Dorcas is a 17-year-old, and she ultimately fell in love. That she does not fall in love, rather she was immature enough. She just inspired from the cosmetic thing, and she started making illegitimate relation with this man, Joe. With her acne, light skins, straight hairs, and womanish figures, Dorcas is either neither decidedly pretty, is flatly unattractive. Precocious and romantic, Dorcas seeks male attentions at a young age and yearns to live a racy, adult life. She wants to attend nightclubs and parties, and most importantly, she wants to adore and be adored. She quickly becomes bored with the infatuations her older lovers chose, and eager to track down more desirable path. So the thing is that first of all, she fell in love. She because she wants some jewelry. So once she offered jewelry, she spent time with the old lovers, and very soon she is bored from the old lover and wants some attractive guys. And Acton was a beautiful guy over there, so she started getting influence from. She is getting attraction toward Actons, and she used to go in a party, she danced, and she started ignoring Joe, and Joe does not like it. So Alice Manfred is the aunt of she's she widow in her late 50s, and Alice Dorcas aunts and legal guardian. So the guardian of the Dorcas is Alice Manfred. She lives alone in a Harlem, and the seamstress as a seamstress and are deeply mistrustful young peoples and sinful lives as they seem to be leading. Alice is overly protective and concerned for the Dorcas, and hope to shelter her from what she sees to the threatening world. Her own husband had an affair with another woman and died soon after. So Alice Manfred, she does not trust in anybody. So even she does not trust on anybody. In spite of all that, she does not know her own her own adopted child. Dorcas, she is doing sinful affair. Phyllis is the friend of the Dorcas and the best friend from the school. Phyllis lives with her grandmother while the mothers and father were elsewhere. She is darker skinned and less attractive than her friend Dorcas. Golden Grey. So here is another story which our writer Toni Morrison, she takes us to another story, that is the story of the Golden Grey. Golden Grey, in fact, he is the son of Henry Lestroy. Henry Lestroy, he was working in Colonel Wordsworth Grey's home. So what happens over the Vera Lewis Grey? She was a daughter of the Colonel Wordsworth Grey. So what happened? Henry Lestroy, he pregnant. He had a illegitimate relation with Vera Lewis, and he pregnant that lady. So what happened on Colonel Wordsworth Grey? He feel ashamed, and he gives some money to Vera Lewis and Henry Lestroy along with two bellies. He gave some money, and after that say that you should leave this place. They leave this place, and they ultimately started living in Virginia. So over there, Golden Grey was ultimately she gives birth to Golden Grey. No, Golden Grey is around about 17-year-old, and he started finding his father. So he's worried. So here is his character, the son of the Vera Lewis Greys and Henry Lestroy. Golden Grey is a half black, half white. He's a mixed race child. Although his golden curls and the light skin make him appear completely Caucasian, raised by his mothers and the two Bellies in Baltimore. Golden Grey leads a privileged existence, and he told that he was adopted at a young age. When he is 18, he learns the truth about the parents and fly into the range. He travels Vienna, Virginia, intending to hunt dons and kill Black father, but he runs off in the wood with the wild instead. Wild, a very dark skinned. So when Golden Grey he was hunting his father, hunting down his father, he wants that he want to kill his father because due to his father he is suffering. So he just came out around about 17-year-old. He started finding his father. What happens in the way he finds one of the lady who's a wild enough. She was pregnant and she was suffering. He just got this lady and he takes her to her father's cottage. Over there, he started living with his father Henry Lestroyes, along with the wilds and like that. When he took the wild over there, ultimately she gives birth to one of child whose name was later known as Joe. So Joe is in fact the son of Wild, a very dark skinned woman who roams through the wood near the Vienna, Virginia. She is called the Wild because she bites Henry Lestroy's arm, and he helps her to deliver her child. Her origins are mysterious, and she presumed to be the mother of the Joe Trace, although this is never confirmed. Golden Grey accompanies Wild into the woods, and the two of them make their homes in a sacred hovels. Henry Lestroy. Vera Lewis Grey's black lovers Henry Lestroy's reside. I've already told you that Golden Grey's mother Henry Vera Lewis Grey. She was the daughter of the, because she is taking us to the stream of consciousness. She is telling about the past event related to the characters. Now we are going to see the character like the Vera Lewis Grey, and she was the son of the Colonel Wordsworth Grey. He was wealthy farmers, and ultimately Henry Lestroy he made illegitimate relation with Vera Lewis, and he pregnant that lady, that the daughter of Colonel Wordsworth Grey. So he just gives some money to these, and after that say that leave this home. So they started living in Baltimore. And now Henry Lestroy is going to be discussed. He is also character. Vera Lewis Grey's black lover. Henry Lestroy resides near her family's old plantations in Vienna, Virginia. He does not know where Vera goes when he leaves for Baltimore, and he is surprised when Golden Grey appears to his door, claiming to be his son. Dubbed hunter by the local, he is expert hunters, and he become a kind of the surrogate father for the Joe Trace when the younger man is under his tutelage. Melvone's Edwards. Melvon Edwards, she's a neighbor of the Joe, and she is living. She offered a room to Joe's where Dorcas and Joe they used to meet, and they had a illegitimate relation. And upstairs neighbors to the Joes and Violets. Melvonis agrees to rent out her nephew's spare rooms to Joe's that he can have a private place in which meet Dorcas. She works cleaning the house of his building powerful white executive during the evenings, and she reads immense unsent letters she finds her nephew's bedroom. Vera Lewis Grey. The white daughter of the wealthy plantation owners, Vera Lewis Grey is sent away by her parents when they figure out that he has become pregnant with the child of the black lover. They give her a large sum of money to kind of bribe, and she takes her servant True Belly with her to Baltimore, where the two women raise her sons Golden Grey. True Belly. Violet's grandmothers and the figures of the heroic optimisms in the novels. True Belly leaves her family. True Belly had a lot of problems. True Belly had one of daughters whose name was Rose Dears. So Rose Dears was a mother of this Violet. What happened? Violet had a strange family. Rose Dears, she took lot of loan, and she ultimately died. Her father was also abusive one. He died as well, and after that Rose Dear also died. Rose Dear just committed suicide, and after that the guardianship was transferred to the grandmom whose name was True Belly. True Belly is also serving Violet, as well as she is also serving her owner, and her owner was what calls Vera Lewis. Violet's grandmothers and the figure of the heroic optimism in the novel, True Belly leaves her families and moves with her mistress, and she ultimately moves with mean Vera Lewis Gray. So Vera Lewis Gray, when she was pregnant by the black persons and her father, he removed them. He just said that you should leave home, and she also offered a lot of money to them, and she started living in a Baltimore with True Bellies along with Vera Lewis Gray. Baltimore's in order to raise the woman's half black baby boy. When she learns that her daughter's Rose Deer is trouble back in Virginia, True Belly moves back to put the family back together and raise in the grandchildren. Rose Deer. Rose Deer is the Violet's mother and the True Belly's daughter. Her husband abandons the family for the long stretches at homes and squandering their monies and getting them further into debt. When she and her children are driven into the utter true poverty. Rose Deer loses faith, commits suicide, and throwing herself into the well. So Rose Deer, in fact, she suffers a lot. What happens? Her husband, he leaves her, and she started living along with her mother's True Bellies. True Belly, after all, she brought up her child Violet, and Violet she had such a strange background. That is why she even cuts the face of Dorcas when she died. Acton's Dorcas' cocky and self-absorbed boyfriend after she tires of Jaws. Acton's constantly good-looking man whom all the girls adores. Honor is the young boys and who helps take the Henry Lestroy's livestock when he is away. So, and Honor is the boy who is taking care of the livestock of the Henry Lestroy. Victory's Joe's Trace adoptive brothers. Victory accompanies Joe's and Henry Lestroy's on their hunting expeditions. Colonel Wordsworth Gray is a wealthy plantation owner who sends a daughter Vera Lewis away when he learns that she has become pregnant with the child of the black man. Sweetness, Maloney's nephews and Sweetness on the longer lives with his aunts and Joe's and Violet's apartment building. So for unknown reasons he had stolen the bag of the addressed and stamped letters and hid it in his room before moving off in either Chicago or San Diego. The narrators can't remember which. Gistons and Stuck. The reader learns very little about Gistons and Stuck, other than the fact that they are the friend of the Joes living in New York City. Miller sisters. The Miller sisters are Alice Manfred's neighbors, and they take care of the Dorcas in the afternoons. When Alice works, they disapprove of the styles and fashions of the eras of the worries, like Alice about moral corruptions. Winsome Clark. Winsome Clark is a woman in the city whose later falls into the Maloney's meddling hand. So these are the characters we have discussed about the character. Now I would like to discuss the summary of this novel. So dear students, we are going to discuss summary of Jazz. In summary of Jazz, we see that this novel starts Joe, the wife of the Joe, Violet. She is just she is throwing some grains to the birds. वो हम देखते हैं कि बर्ड्स को कुछ दाने वगैरह डाल रही है, कुछ ग्रेन्स डाल रही है. उसके साथ स्टोरी स्टार्ट होती है. हम देखते हैं कि जो और वायलेट का जो रिलेशन है वो बड़ा टर्न एंड टर्टल है. बोथ जो हैं अबव 50 हैं और इनके जो रिलेशन है वो बड़े कॉम्प्लिकेट हैं. दोनों बगैर औलाद के हैं, दोनों की औलाद नहीं है. वो अक्सर आपस में उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी नहीं है. और कॉस्मेटिक का हम देखते हैं कि जो है वो हार्लम के अंदर कॉस्मेटिक का काम करता है और वो डिफरेंट औरतों के साथ उसके ताल्लुकात हैं और वो उनको उस पर बड़ा ट्रस्ट करती हैं. एक दिन यूँ होता है कि वो डॉर्कस की जो गार्डियन है एलिस मैनफ्रेड, वो उसके यहाँ जाता है और वहाँ उसकी डॉर्कस से मुलाकात होती है। डॉर्कस को वो तोहफे तोहफ़ देता है, वो उससे इम्प्रेस होती है और डॉर्कस के लिए वो एक कमरा हायर करता है अपनी नेबर से। वो वहाँ एक रूम खाली होता है, उस रूम को हायर करता है और अक्सर वो अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड डॉर्कस के साथ मिलता है। अल्टीमेटली डॉर्कस जो है कुछ दिनों के बाद उससे तंग आ जाती है, वो अपने न्यू बॉयफ्रेंड के साथ पार्टी में जाती है एक्टन के साथ। वो उसको मना करता है कि वो एक्टन के साथ ज़्यादा मिक्स ना हो, बिकॉज ही लव्स हर एंड ही डज नॉट लिव विदाउट हर। व्हाट हैपन, she gives him a deaf ears and she secretly moved to the party with the Acton. वो एक्टन और अपने दीगर फीलिस फ्रेंड के साथ पार्टी में जाती है और एक्टन के साथ अपने रिलेशन को डेवलप करती है। आखिरकार कॉस्मेटिक बेचकर जब वो वापस आता है तो उसको परस्यू करता हुआ वो उस पार्टी तक पहुंचता है। जो उसको मना करता है, लेकिन मना करने के बावजूद जब वो बाज नहीं आती तो उसे पिस्टल से शूट करता है। पिस्टल से जब शूट करता है तो डॉर्कस खुद मना कर देती है कि कोई भी एम्बुलेंस को नहीं बुलाएगा। यानी हो एम्बुलेंस को नहीं बुलाया जाता और वहाँ ज़्यादा खून बहने की वजह से उसकी मौत हो जाती है। जब वो कॉफिन के अंदर बंद होती है तो ये बात ज़बान ज़देआम होती है। अल्टीमेटली वॉयलेट को पता चलता है। वॉयलेट को जब पता चलता है तो वो उसकी फ्यूनरल सेरेमनी पे पहुंचती है और एक नाइफ के साथ उसके मुंह को ज़ख्मी कर देती है। डेड बॉडी के यानी फेस को डिस्टॉर्ट कर देती है, उसको ज़ख्मी करती है और उससे उसका नाम पूरे इलाके में वॉयलेट जो है वो पड़ जाता है। राइटर हमें मज़ीद स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में ले जाता है और हमें बताता है कि वॉयलेट जो है वॉयलेट क्यों है। वॉयलेट को अगर देखा जाए तो वो एक ट्रू बेली नामी एक खातून है। वो उसकी ग्रैंड मदर है। ट्रू बेली उसकी ग्रैंड मदर है, उसकी गार्डियन है, उसी ने उसकी परवरिश की है। उसका फादर जो था वो अब्यूसिव था, उसने उसकी मदर रोज डियर को तलाक दे दी थी। रोज डियर मदर है वॉयलेट की। तो रोज डियर बहुत सारा कर्जा लेती है, अल्टीमेटली कुएं में छलांग लगा देती है, उससे उसकी डेथ हो जाती है। और उसके बाद ट्रू बेली जो कि एक बड़ी पॉजिटिव और बड़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग माइंडेड औरत है, वो उसकी परवरिश करती है वॉयलेट की। वॉयलेट ने भी वर्जीनिया नामी एक वर्जीनिया प्लेस में ही अपनी बेल्टीमोर नामी प्लेस जो है वहाँ पे उसकी परवरिश होती है। और दूसरी साइड में हमें राइटर टोनी मॉरिसन फिर हमें ब्लैक पीपल की एक न्यू स्टोरी की तरफ ले जाती है। वहाँ हमें बताती है कि जो का बैकग्राउंड क्या है। गॉर्डन ग्रे एक बेटा है वीरा ल्यूस ग्रे का। वीरा ल्यूस का करैक्टर मज़ीद हमें वो स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में पीछे ले जाती है कि वीरा ल्यूस ग्रे कौन थी। वीरा ल्यूस ग्रे बेटी थी कॉलोनल वर्ड्सवर्थ ग्रे की। कॉलोनल वर्ड्सवर्थ ग्रे एक फार्मर और प्लांटेशन का बिजनेस चलाता है और वो काफ़ी रिच वाइट मैन है। उसका मुलाजिम होता है हेनरी लेस्ट्रॉय। हेनरी लेस्ट्रॉय उसकी बेटी वीरा ल्यूस ग्रे को प्रेग्नेंट कर देता है। जब उसको प्रेग्नेंट कर देता है उसे पता चलता है तो वो उसको कुछ पैसे देता है, अलॉन्ग विद उसको भी घर से निकाल देता है। और उसको पैसे देने के साथ वो वीरा ल्यूस और ट्रू बेली को कहता है कि जाओ यहाँ से बेल्टीमोर चले जाओ। वो बेल्टीमोर आके सेटल हो जाते हैं। बेल्टीमोर में अब हेनरी लेस्ट्रॉय को नहीं पता कि वो कहाँ पे जाकर सेट हो गए हैं। बेल्टीमोर में जाके वो सेट हो जाते हैं। वहाँ पे बेटा पैदा होता है हेनरी, वहाँ पे बेटा पैदा होता है गोल्डन ग्रे। गोल्डन ग्रे एक मिक्स्ड रेस चाइल्ड है और जब वो 17 साल का होता है तो वो अपने फादर को तलाश करने के लिए वापस जाता है कि मेरा फादर कहाँ है। उसका फादर हेनरी लेस्ट्रॉय अब एक जंगल में रहता है और वहाँ पे वो लाइफ स्टॉक का बिजनेस कर रहा है और वहाँ उसके पास कुछ उसने मुलाजिम रखे हुए हैं जो उसके बिजनेस की हिफाजत करते हैं। और जब वो अपने फादर को तलाश करने के लिए जाता है तो रास्ते में उसे वाइल्ड मिलती है। वाइल्ड औरत प्रेग्नेंट होती है और वो आहें भर रही होती है। वो उसे पकड़ता है, उसे तरस आता है, वो उसे अपने बाप के कॉटेज पे ले जाता है। वहाँ वो अपने बाप के साथ रहना शुरू कर देता है। वहाँ वो एक वाइल्ड औरत के साथ ही रहता है। वहाँ से बच्चा पैदा होता है जो कि वाइल्ड का बेटा है। जो और वायलेट की वहाँ दोस्ती होती है और वहाँ से वो छोड़कर हार्लम सेट हो जाते हैं। वो दोनों एक फील्ड में मिलते हैं, वायलेट और जो एक फील्ड में मिलते हैं। उन दोनों को एक दूसरे से मोहब्बत होती है और वहाँ से वो हार्लम यानी न्यूयॉर्क के पास प्लेस है वहाँ पे सेटल हो जाते हैं। और अल्टीमेटली दोनों सफ़र करते हैं एक मसाइल को कि चूँकि वो दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं बना सकते और अल्टीमेटली वो डॉर्कस के साथ अपने रिलेशन बना लेता है। डॉर्कस को कत्ल करने के बाद हम देखते हैं कि वहाँ पुलिस तक नहीं आती और उनको कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं है, और इसके थ्रू हमें टोनी मॉरिसन बताती है कि किस तरह से ब्लैक पीपल को डिप्राइव्ड रखा गया है, उनको सिक्योरिटी पूरी नहीं दी जा रही, उनको बड़े मसाइल हैं उनके, और उनके अंदरूनी मसाइल बहुत से हैं। जैसे कॉलोनल वर्ड्सवर्थ ग्रे जो है उसे घर से निकाल देता है कि उसने एक ब्लैक पर्सन के साथ अपने ताल्लुकात बनाए, यानी ब्लैक और वाइट जो हैं उनको आपस में मिलने की भी इजाज़त नहीं है। तो इस तरह हम देखते हैं कि फिर अल्टीमेटली जो फिलिस है जो कि डॉर्कस की फ्रेंड थी, वो जो और वायलेट का आपस में रिलेशन जो है दोबारा मजबूत करने में मदद देती है, और वो ट्रू बेली और उसको वायलेट को भी फ्रेंड बना देती है और वो अच्छे से अपना रहना शुरू कर देते हैं। दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट द टोनी मॉरिसन नॉवल जेज. We have discussed the summary of Jays. We have discussed the characterization of this novel. We have even discussed about The Blue Eyes by Toni Morrison. Tomorrow we'll be discussing one assignment related to this. Stay blessed and have a nice time.